Hi everyone! So today we're going to be covering how to use relative and absolute references in Google Sheets to calculate your savings balance based on whatever your monthly savings goals are throughout the year. And we'll base it on an APY interest rate. We're going to start with a more manual approach, and then I'll show you a more dynamic way to handle these calculations in Google Sheets. Okay, so first let's enter our monthly savings goal of, let's say, $200 in B4. We can then use the fill handle in the bottom right corner of the cell, and we'll copy this value down by double clicking. So our example annual interest rate will be 3.8%. So in cell C4, we'll calculate the interest earned on the initial contribution of $200 by multiplying B4 by the annual interest rate divided by 12. So this takes our monthly contribution and multiplies it by the annual rate divided by 12 to get the monthly interest. Now, in cell D4, we'll get our end of month total, which will just be B4 plus C4, which is the initial contribution plus the interest earned on it. And then our January ending balance will be $200.63. For the second month in February, we'll build on the initial January balance. And then in cell D5, we'll add everything together. So the ending balance from last month plus the monthly contribution plus the interest earned in February. So now that we have our second month set up, we can use the fill handle to copy the formulas down. And this works because since we're using relative references, each formula will automatically adjust to reference the cell above it and the cells next to it. So as you can see, by the end of the year, our savings balance will be $2,449.98. So we can now look at a more dynamic way to calculate this using absolute references. Now, let's look at a more dynamic approach that makes it easier to adjust the monthly contribution and interest rate with just having them filled in two cells at the top of our spreadsheet. So I'm going to put $200 in C2 for a monthly savings goal and 3.8% for our APY interest rate. Okay, so now I'm going to calculate January interest earned in C6. So this takes the monthly savings goal and multiplies it by the annual rate divided by 12. So now to calculate January's end of month total, I'm going to take C2, our monthly savings goal, and add it to the interest earned in January. Okay, so now for February's interest calculation. Okay, so we're using absolute references with the dollar signs for the monthly savings goal and the interest rate in C2 and C3. And to get those dollar signs, you can either type them in manually or use FN and F4 as a shortcut on the Mac or F4 on Windows. Okay, so now for February's end of month total, we're going to take D6 plus C2 plus C7. Okay, so now we can use the fill handle in the bottom right corner to copy the formulas down through December. The absolute references make sure that the formulas always look at the input variables at the top of the spreadsheet in C2 and C3. And then the relative references always reference the previous month's total. So now we can test what happens if you update any of the numbers in C2 and C3. So if we updated our monthly savings goal to $300, you'd see the end of year balance would be $3,674.97. And the entire table recalculates because of the relative and absolute formulas. This dynamic approach makes it easier to plug in different numbers and test out different scenarios by just changing the numbers at the top of the spreadsheet. Thank you for watching, and feel free to leave any questions or comments below, and we will see you again in the next video. Bye!